it just shows the lack of leadership that we have in the great state of Texas. For as great as Texas is, we have a lot of fuckboys who are running this whole state. So you guys, 2022, I believe November 2022, that's the next round of elections. I want to say for mayor and governor. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, you guys comment under this video below. And stay warm, my friends, because we are in a state of emergency, people. State of emergency. We had the pod. And if you don't know, we're reporting live from Houston, Texas. All my Texans out there, I'm pretty sure we all have similar pain right now at the moment. But a lot of y'all are new to this, but I'm true to this. But holla at me in the cut. This is In the Cut with Curt James podcast, episode 14. Turn off the lights. Candle. This is nothing to laugh about. And, of course, we don't have another microphone, another XLR cable at the moment, simply because it's tough to travel out here, my people. It's tough to travel now. Well, in the interest of full disclosure, it is Friday or Thursday. We're recording this right now. So a lot of the bad weather has ceased, has stopped at the moment. But we are still dealing with water pressure difficulty. I had to turn the water off at my crib. We couldn't even run our shit. I kept seeing, or people kept sending me videos of their pipes bursting. And my aunt, I told you, my Aunt Gail, her pipes bursted in her crib in the kitchen. And again, just other people I know. Oh, Auntie Cal, her pipes got burst as well? Man, prayers up to everybody dealing with their pipes being burst and water leaking inside their home. I know how much of an inconvenience that could be, but as Texans, we all have been inconvenienced this week. We have all been inconvenienced. I'm not just talking to my Houstonians out there, okay? Now, this is really for all my Texas residents. This pod right here, this is dedicated to all my Texas residents. Now, y'all probably looking at young Curt, wondering why I'm looking like this, why I got all these different layers on, why my face might be kind of scruffy. I know the wave's still on point for now, but I don't feel as clean as I would like to. I had to take a whole bath today. I don't think a lot of y'all know about those whole baths where you had to boil some water up. First off, had to put some cold water in the tub. Then I had to boil about 2 gumbo pots worth of hot water and pour it in there, okay? I had to wash my hair, had a gallon of water next to me, pour it over my head. Boys, we was really hoe bathing out here, okay? Really thugging it out here during this time because, of course, let me report what the news reported. There were about at least 4.3 million people without power in Texas due to a little old winter storm. Now, in Texas, we're used to extreme heat. We don't use a lot of our energy until the summertime. And I'm pretty sure everybody at this point throughout the week has done their research on the energy in Texas. Now, but again, on Sunday night, after the Valentine's Day festivities had ceased, after you all got your nuts off, Plan B swallowed, whatever you get into, around 2, 3 in the morning, we got some extreme temperatures in Texas, and the lights went off. Now, for me, young Steve, my lights went off, I want to say that would be Monday around 2 a.m., 2 in the morning. So around same for you. Yeah. Oh yeah, because I did call you, but you were asleep. So yeah, our lights were off about 2 a.m. on Monday morning. And like every other Houstonian and just Texan period, because my Dallas residents, I think y'all had been dealing with this since Sunday night, since Valentine's Day before 12 a.m. You guys had been dealing with Saturday night into Sunday morning because it snows in Dallas up north, so they had been having electricity problems and things of that nature. But a lot of Houstonians, like myself and Young Stiff and everyone else, we experienced it about Monday morning around 2 a.m. And again, like everyone else in Texas, I'm sort of confused, and I'm not the sharpest knife in the shed, but if there's no hurricane, if there's no storm, as a Texan, I'm wondering, okay, why the hell my electricity not working, okay? There's no storm, no flood. What the fuck happened to my lights? It's my power. So, did a little research. And also, in the interest of full disclosure, I used to work for CenterPoint Energy, so I'm a little familiar with how electricity is distributed. Because if you've ever lived anywhere besides Texas, a lot of your utilities were probably underneath one company. In Texas, when you start to pay your bills, depending on how it's set up, you're paying one company for the water, one company for your electricity, etc. And a lot of the times that company, like let's say you pay Reliant or TXU for your electricity, for your energy. You pay them directly to store you with the electricity, to provide you with electricity. But whenever there's a power outage, they tell you to call CenterPoint or they tell you to call Encore. That's because CenterPoint, they're the distributor of the electricity. So they're the ones that are in control of the poles and the wires that are connected to your house. So from the power plant to your house, that's all underneath CenterPoint or Frontier or any other electric distributor. Any other electric distributor, they're in charge of the wiring and the poles of that nature. That's why your energy company, whoever you contact, they tell you, hey, we don't have control of that, okay? You need to call this company. So everybody was calling CenterPoint. A lot of my friends were telling me that they had over 100-some calls holding every hour. It was jam-packed. Glad I'm not there anymore. Fuck them niggas. But after their call volume was overwhelmed, they told everybody to contact Ercot. So the blame was being shifted from your electricity provider to CenterPoint to Ercot. Now, again, I had heard the term that Texas was energy independent. I had heard that phrase for at least the past 5-6 years. I'm going to be honest, I didn't know what the hell that meant. Not at all. But as I did more research, I found out what it means to be energy independent. So Texas, we have our own electric grid, right? Is that what it's called? Our own electric grid. So on the West Coast, they have an electric grid. On the East Coast, they have an electric grid. And then there's Texas. We're a part of our own electric grid. And it just falls in line with staunch conservatism, or it just falls in line with just the stigma of Texas and what Texans cherish most about Texas in itself. They love being independent. Yes, they act as if Texas is its own country. But it's not, because when we have natural disasters like this and our electric grid becomes overwhelmed, we might need to reach out to somebody in another state. Or if the grid was interconnected as it should be, we would not have had this problem. Now, I understand that the demand was at such a high level. A lot of conservatives, because conservatives are taking a beating right now, and I'm not here to bash conservatives. I don't think that you can blame everything on conservative politics and everything on natural gas and coal being the primary source of energy, because Texas is one of the few states that has multiple sources of energy, right? And they all fucked up whenever we needed it. The wind turbines fucked up, the natural gas fucked up, the coal fucked up, and the nuclear fucked up. All of our energy sources failed us and became compromised during this severe weather event, okay? So all of y'all on the right, all of y'all on the left trying to throw blame at each other, let's not do that, okay? But Republicans, I mean, we have a Republican governor. The state is primarily red, so a lot of it is going to fall back on the leadership of the conservatives, whether it's fair or unfair. We got to look at those who are in charge, because I know everybody was upset. A lot of my relatives, they were posting on social media, Sylvester Turner catching strays, Abbott, everybody who's a representative or in Congress that's from Texas, they were catching all the smoke, all the strays from my family members. I said I had to hit them up and say, yo, do know Sylvester, he really don't have control over this. Honestly, that's really out of his control. The power really lies within the governor. The governor is the one that appoints members to the board at Ercot. And that's why I think it's funny that Abbott, he wants to call an investigation into Ercot when, according to my knowledge, you helped nominate people who are on the board for Ercot. So Abbott, nah, you catching all the smoke. You catching all the strays. And I don't even feel bad. Now, it's a lot of fucked up shit people been saying about Abbott because he's in the wheelchair and he's a staunch conservative. So, of course, Black Twitter and and everywhere else has been killing the man. And again, he deserves a lot of the criticism because why weren't we prepared for this? Why weren't we prepared for this? Why did you not winterize the equipment? I think that's the proper term. Because you had idiots on the conservative side who were saying, you guys want all renewable energy in Texas when all the wind turbines were completely frozen and they completely failed us during this time. When there's wind turbines in Iowa, Antarctica that work fine, states that get quite cooler than what we experienced, okay? And there's no issues with that. So a lot of you idiots on the conservative side who are pushing that narrative, shame on you. But because, again, as I mentioned, all levels of our energy system failed us and became compromised. So, again, we can't point the finger at conservatives and vice versa. But at the same time, our leadership, our staunch conservative morals that we cherish as Texans, and I get it. As a black man, I get it. I'm from the South. When you're from the South, entrepreneurship, less government oversight. We don't want the government. First off, black people, we don't trust the government as well, conservatives, okay? It's understood based off the history why black people don't trust the government. So we're right there with you. But some things I feel like they need to be regulated. Some things the federal government should step into, like our electricity, so we don't have situations such as these. Because other states, they could help, but we're independent. No, there's operators. I'm learning more about this day by day. So if I'm butchering this, you guys, feel free to comment and educate me. But day by day, I'm learning more about this. There's different grid operators that control the electricity for 26 million customers, for lack of a better term, in Texas, right? So that begs the question, who's making the tough decisions on which areas we're going to leave off for a certain period of time, right? Who's making those decisions? And Ercot, the president and the CEO, of course, when you got all the energy companies and the distributors shifting blame your way, they went on their press run. Every news outlet I saw them on, and they were basically saying that, hey, we know there's a lot of skepticism about who's making the decisions. They basically didn't answer any of our questions on how they're going about making those decisions. Because, again, rolling blackouts was a term that was used throughout the past 3 or 4 days. And, again, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so I had to look that up. And, again, that's what a lot of us were experiencing. I told you our lights went off on Monday night. They came back on Tuesday around 7 or 8 in the morning, back on Tuesday. My mom made some breakfast. We charged up a few things. Power went back out. And didn't come back on until last night. We're recording this on a Thursday. Didn't come back on until last night. But there's some people, they didn't even experience the rolling blackouts. They went without power since Monday morning. And it's Thursday now. So some people didn't have power the whole time. Exactly. Some people didn't have power the whole time. And again, this is a serious issue because some of us have children and some of us live with elders who need heat. and we're in the middle of a pandemic. So it's just a bad look, Texas. It's a bad look for Texans to be in this situation, and we don't know who to point the blame to. But again, I put it on our leadership. I put it on the governor. Governor Abbott, you catching this stray. I put the blame on Texas being energy independent. I understand the pros of it, but at the same time, there needs to be certain we need to get back connected so this won't happen again. Exactly. If we were interconnected like it's supposed to be with all the other states, we're the only state that's energy independent. Now, again, for business reasons, I understand it, and I understand the pros of it. But we have just experienced the cons for the past 3 or 4 days. So, Texans in leadership, you guys definitely get the blame for this one. You guys are catching a stray. Sorry, I'm all over the place. This is an emergency pod. I had to get this out. Oh, and Ted Cruz, you motherfucker. So, Ted Cruz, staunch conservative, staunch Trump supporter. This guy, Senator of Texas, right? Now, I don't think he could do anything to resolve the situation immediately, but it was quite funny that there was a picture of Ted Cruz on his way to Cancun amidst all of the controversy going on in Texas. And, of course, Twitter got to him. Twitter fired him up. And Ted Cruz, Lion Ted, as Trump would say, had to release a statement saying, I just wanted to get some fresh air with my daughters. They were on spring break. I just wanted to be a good dad and to travel with them and to get some air. So everybody fires up Ted Cruz religiously. But in this situation, it just shows the lack of leadership that we have in the great state of Texas. For as great as Texas is, we have a lot of fuckboys who are running this whole state. So you guys, 2022, I believe November 2022, that's the next round of elections. I want to say for mayor and governor. Don't quote me on that if I'm wrong. You guys comment under this video below. And stay warm, my friends, because it's still cold out there, okay? And if I'm a little crusty, a little ashy, hey, mind your business, all right? Follow me on all. But yeah, I'm still not off this severe weather event in Houston, Texas. Why the fuck were we so underprepared as a state, Texas? That's really why I'm trying to come at our leadership right now. Greg Abbott, Ercot. Texas is energy independent. We don't have any Fed oversight. And some dude who was a part of, I want to say underneath Trump, he led the energy department, and he used to be our former governor. I want to say Rick Perry. Rick Perry said some bullshit. I think I saw some on Twitter. You saw that? Yeah. Well, he said, y'all better endure this power outage if you don't want the feds in our energy business, basically. Basically said, if you don't want no federal oversight, y'all can chill. Y'all can chill when it comes to the power being out, okay? This rarely happens. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. That's what they love mentioning. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. But my thing is this. If you got to be prepared for that. And if you privatize our electricity, you should be the profits. I'm already knowing are insurmountable. Y'all profits are probably ridiculous. You can spend that extra little bread to winterize the equipment. Because I remember during these press conferences, the Ercot president and CEO, they kept saying that companies have the option of purchasing these winterized options, these winterized packages. Are we good? Is the camera good? It turned off for a minute? No. It was running? Okay. I was just focusing on a different spot. No, I'll just make it show. But yeah, they try to pin it back on the company saying, well, we can't force each of these companies to winterize their equipment because it's optional. So my thing is this, just leadership should not be optional, because what if there's a situation where you can't stabilize the grid and we have to be without power for a week or two? All hell will fucking break loose in Texas, I can assure you. And it did, low-key. That's why you had members of Ercot, they had to take their names off the website because people were getting threats. But you got to understand, when you fuck the people over in these type of situations, the people will speak, okay? The people will speak. And I'm just going on a tangent right now. Why? I read this. I don't know if it's factual, but I heard there's some members of the board who don't even reside in Texas, who don't live in Texas at all. You got niggas in Michigan on the board for Ercot. Why the fuck? If we're not interconnected, if we're energy independent, why the fuck is any non-resident of Texas on the board? Why? Someone tell me why. I don't understand. Because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Now, if that's fake news, somebody inform me that it's fake news. But from what I was seeing, on the website, they only had about 3 or 4 people had their names and information posted on the website. Everybody else, of course, anonymous. Don't put my name on there. And then after the death threats, they took everybody down. So, but again, if that's true, why? It's just a lot of goofy shit going on in Texas, all because we love being independent. Texans love being outliers compared to the rest of the United States. They love to talk about how, Texas was we would have seceded from the Union. We was thinking about becoming our own country. As you mentioned earlier, Texans swear Texas is a motherfucking country. And I love Texas for all the racist propaganda, fucked up shit that happens here. I love Texas. I love being from Texas. I love being from the South. As I mentioned earlier, there's just something about the South and just championing independence, something about that. So I understand that energy. I really do. And I rock with it. But again, as I mentioned earlier, in certain situations, we need some regulation. Because then I heard in certain scenarios, it's not with the majority of residents, but I heard in certain scenarios, depending on your contract with your energy company, your rates are about to go up due to this situation.
I saw that.
And I don't know all the specifics with that and how they're doing that, but sounds bogus. And it's another reason why we shouldn't privatize our energy. Electricity. This is how we survive. And I hope this whole incident just made all of us aware that if we ever have the opportunity to, lease a home or own a home, whatever, make sure all of your appliances aren't electric, okay? Because those gas appliances will come in hand. Don't Auntie got y'all stove is her stove is electric at the crib? Gas at the crib. My grandmother, so many people I know have gas stoves, were able to cook. And we had a generator, so we were able to cook a little bit. We had to plug it up to the electricity, but we couldn't use the oven or we couldn't use the stove. So I hope this severe weather event, as the newscasters have called it, I hope it's made you all aware that, hey, everything doesn't need to be the same thing. Diversify your portfolio. That's something we're going to teach on this podcast, no matter the field or the department. Diversify your portfolio. When you get in the crib, you might not want to have all gas appliances, all electric. Diversify, okay? I don't know how I got on this, but as a Texan, as a Houstonian, I am in outrage. I'm outraged right now. Okay? Y'all don't understand. I slept with a do-rag and a beanie on the other night. With my hood on top of that, next to a space heater. And I know everyone who's not from Texas, hey, let us have our shit, okay? Okay? Our legislator, our leadership, they failed us. They failed us during this tragic time, okay? Because I think there was an event that happened in 2011. They kept referencing that, why didn't we learn from 2011? I believe it snowed here. I think so, because that was when I was at Dallas Baptist and it snowed at Dallas. But yeah. But even then, even if you don't learn from 2011, once you start to gain more research, more information, why not take those precautions, right? 2 weeks before the storm, you guys could have taken these precautions. And again, I did my research. I understand that the power plants in Antarctica are different than in Texas, right? they're probably in a enclosed area. They're built for low, severe temperatures, below freezing temperatures as we experienced. Compared to Texas, the power plants are probably built outside, out in the open, where a lot of air can fumigate and pass through, because we use a lot of our energy during the summertime when it's hot. I understand that. I understand all of that for everyone trying to dismiss this situation. But again, leadership, you dropped the ball. You should have been prepared. And again, Sylvester Turner, he's doing all that he can. He's really like the mayor. I need to do more research. I don't want to talk out of pocket, but the mayor does not have the power of the governor, of the senator, okay? So I know we're saying I'm tired of seeing y'all giving rappers days and that's all y'all can do. But when it's a natural disaster, shit is all fucked up. Y'all better all y'all can do is tell us how to get to a shelter. I understand that. But we got to go up top for that. And even all you conservatives out there, y'all need to bring another motherfucker to the table, because Abbott ain't it for me. He ain't it for a lot of us out there. And he's failed us as a governor. And I just think we need to rethink things, okay? I know I went part 2 on this, but I had to go in. I had to, okay? It's cold outside. Had to spin the block one more time. Make sure you niggas felt that. It ain't no warning shot, nigga. What Conway say? What'd he say? What'd he say? Why we going blank right now? The reason I'm yelling is because I'm trying to make this flow before I shift. Damn, nigga, you listen to this song every fucking day. What do you say? Come around your corner. Fuck. Like he said, we spin the block on this shit because we shouldn't have to suffer through this as Texans, okay? We should not have to suffer through this as Texans. But let me get off this. What happened in sports while we on this? Because this is going to be the last segment. Back to the energy shit. Last thing. What's the dude? He's the mayor. He was the former mayor. He resigned after making some pretty hurtful comments. The former mayor of Colorado City in Texas. I want to say his name is Tom something. He made the comment. He's the mayor that resigned because he made a comment about how Texans need to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. The government doesn't owe you anything. Stop complaining about your power being out. Oh my God, bunch of welfare babies. He didn't say that now, but that's basically the type of energy I felt, the tone. And his name was Tim Boyd. Tim Boyd was the Colorado City mayor after his controversial Facebook post, basically where he said, pick yourselves up by your bootstraps. That's what the whites love to tell us whenever we're going through a severe weather event, a crisis. They said, hey, you guys can do it. Pick yourselves up. If I can do it, we can do it. No.